All right, this next one is about someone who's scoring far below their practice range on their official LSATs. Hi, Ben and Nathan. I have been listening to the show and using the demon for months, and I felt pretty good about my law school prospects until August. I have taken 13 practice tests under exact flex conditions.
Why is that so funny? It is funny. Why is it so funny?
For me, it's funny because I'm like, it's like the exact ones. Like, I don't know. Can you do that? But
it's also like 13. It's so specific. And like as if 13 is a crazily high amount of tests, which it's
exactly.
not at all. We have 90 something tests in the demon.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
But
under exact flex. I think the thing that's funny is that everybody's so like all concerned about the flex. Like,
yeah.
It's not just the LSAT, it's the LSAT-Flex. It's so different. It's like, no, the questions are exactly the same. They dropped one or two of the sections. What? It's nothing. It's no different. This, by the way, I was yelling at the class the other night, Ben.
Yeah.
People were complaining about having to do the test on a screen.
Okay.
They really don't like, they prefer paper, Ben. They prefer paper.
Wow. These newbies are going backward.
Well, I was just like, listen, I know a lot of lawyers.
Yeah.
You know what lawyers do every day, all day, every day?
Yeah.
They look at screens all day, every day.
Sure.
Get over it. Get over it.
What was their complaint? They're like, hey, this test is
reading
easier.
On a screen is so much different, Ben. That's what they were saying. They were all agreeing in the chat. Reading on a screen is just so much harder. Oh, it's so much different. I was like, hey, y'all, real talk. No, it's not. Shut up. Stop it. You're making excuses. Like, I'm sure the reason why you missed that question is because it's so hard on your eyes.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you know, Matt Dumont, former student Matt, teacher for the demon Matt.
Yeah.
He reads, he said, for his 1L classes at the University of Maryland, he told us that he reads like 6 or 7 hours a day.
Jeez.
Every day.
Yeah.
And he's doing that on a screen.
Oh, interesting. So,
well, why would you have, you remember, Ben, the big ass
books,
$400 textbooks?
Yeah.
You're basically an idiot if you're using those these days.
Yeah.
Like,
that makes sense.
You want to pay, I'm not shitting you, $1,500 for your books for one semester?
Yeah.
And then you have to get one of those ultra dorky rolling backpack suitcase things. Anyway.
Hey, so about your students, by the way, I wanted to say one thing. I think that you're more likely to have a concern about the screen if you're the kind of person who wants to take notes and underline things and like engage with the text that way. If you're reading and then visualizing, who cares whether you saw it on a screen or saw it on a piece of paper? That idea is becoming a scene in your mind and it doesn't matter.
Well, I had been talking about Matt Dumont. He got himself some of those blue blocker glasses for like reading on screens.
Yeah.
That's one thing you can do for yourself. You can also change the font size. But this like precious, I need to be able to hold on to the paper. And I guess you're right for highlighting, underlining, all that shit that we don't even do. In fact, we actively recommend people don't do.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks, you're going to have to let go of that. It's 2021. Things are not going to be in print anymore. Things are going to be on the screen.
Yeah.
Do whatever you got to do to accommodate yourself. But it's one of a million excuses people make anyway, and like, we do have more touchy-feely, like less direct teachers at
Yeah.
LSAT Demon, but not me. I'm just not here to listen to excuses about why you can't. Like, if it's not related to your understanding of that actual passage or the question or the answer choices, I don't want to talk about it. It's
Yeah.
just it's a waste of time. It's
Yeah.
inefficient, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like me making excuses for not working out. Oh, poor baby, the snow's not good enough, so you can't ski. Oh no. What possible solution could there be to this problem? Oh my.
I gotta fix that broken fireplace.
It's like, shut up, fat ass. You're lazy. That's why you're not working out. You know that that's true. You're gonna make a million excuses. Oh, it's too hot. It's too cold. It's too smoke. There were forest fires. Oh no, it's smoky outside. I can't
Yeah.
possibly work out. Smoky outside. Like, shut up. Do push-ups. Stop it. Just what? I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah.
the excuses that Elsa. I mean, boy, that would be a good lesson actually. Like bullshit excuses that LSAT students make.
Yeah. Oh,
Because
there's
they
so
have
many.
every mistake, every excuse. Oh, I don't like the science passages in reading comp. Oh, yeah. Um, I do better in the morning than I do in the evening, or I do better in the evening than I do in the morning, or oh, on my test, I was hoping for logic games as the first section, but it turned out to be logical reasoning. And I just had a hard time getting the ball. It's like, okay, how many excuses can you possibly come up with? You're not that good at the test. You didn't study enough. You're not that good at the test. You haven't done the work. And that's why you're struggling, which is fine because now we can work on it.
Yeah.
But until then, all the excuses are just, ugh. Anyway.
So I propose a new segment of the show. We have hills to die on, which is new, right? We could have excuses that are BS or something like that, right?
Let's think about it. Maybe Annalisa
Yeah.
could come up with a catchy title for this new feature of the show. But yeah,
Yeah.
worst excuse I heard this week or something like that. We could probably
Yeah.
get all of our teachers involved on our Slack
Mm-hmm.
and have nominations each week for lamest excuse that they heard.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Anyway, let's see. You were going. You were in the first paragraph still of Kendall's email.
Oh, I even forgot. I'm reading it. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay. So she said, I have taken 13 practice tests under exact flex conditions.
No, you haven't.
And
No, you haven't. You didn't have a virtual Proctor Proctor.
Proctor and you from some other country,
Yeah.
and have never scored below the 170s. All right. Well, good place to be in. Range, 171 to 179.
That's pretty much the 170s. Never
Yep.
170 on the dot, but 171 to 179 covers the 170s pretty solidly. All right. I don't know why Kendall's email is so funny. This really shouldn't be funny at all, but it's hilarious.
It is funny. Maybe anyways. However, I have now taken the flex 3 times, August, October, and November. Each time I scored mid 160s. While I almost always finish with extra time on practice tests, I was rushing to finish each section on the actual tests. Okay, well, hey, one thing that we've mentioned before is that most people on test day do poorly because they either go too fast or too slow. They treat it differently than they treat their practice tests. And although most people are going too fast on test day in an attempt to finish everything finally for the first time in their life, some people are overly cautious, right? It's like you're like triple checking answer choice D on question 1 in logical reasoning or something. I wonder if Kendall's doing that.
Or the other way you can slow down is by trying to go too fast. If she's rushing through each question, not
Mm-hmm.
really understanding it, then the
Then you have
questions are
to,
going to seem really hard. And then she's going to be rereading,
yeah.
getting stuck between 2 answers
Mm-hmm.
a lot, right? I bet that happened at Kendall. Did that happen? That you were stuck between 2 answers on several questions? It's I agree. It could be either way. It could be you're triple checking or
Yeah.
you're just reading too fast to begin with. Either way, you're doing something different than what you were doing on all of those 13 practice tests. You need to start treating your official test as if it's just another practice test.
Mm-hmm.
One way or the other, right? You don't triple
Yeah.
check on your practice tests, so don't triple check on the real thing. You don't rush on your practice tests, so don't rush on the real thing. Kendyl really needs to figure out what it is that she's doing different on her official tests, because
Yeah.
it's not that the official test is actually different. It's
Yep.
that Kendall's approach to it is different.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah, totally. I agree with that 100%. She continues, due to this and several other factors, I have decided to put my applications off for another year. Since you regularly advise applicants to prioritize score over numbers of takes, I plan to take it again. I wanted to talk about this for a half second because she only has 2 more takes, right? Practically speaking, she's taken it 3
Yep.
times. She has a max of 5. You were just saying, look, you're doing something different on your test day. Don't do that. I think that to ensure that she does well on these last 2 takes, as that's all she's got. And really, I'd like to do her to do well on this 4th take. I think she needs to become more self-aware of how she's taking her practice tests. Like when things feel good, what do you like? Notice what you're doing, how you're approaching the questions, so that you can better mimic that on test day. Like I think there's a blind spot here
Yeah.
where she's not realizing what she's doing.
You know what else? And this is like it might be a really hard thing for her to fix. But notice how she said 13 PTs under exact flex conditions.
There seems to be this like real emphasis on these details that probably don't matter.
Right. The like fetishization of perfection
Yeah.
on practice tests, like it has to be exactly the way, has to be exactly like, and I'm gonna just like try so hard.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm
then
going to use the exact flex conditions and look, I did those and why am
and
I? Yeah, it's a,
if I control it so hard on my practice test, then I can control it so hard on my official test, and it's a recipe for crashing and burning every time. You gotta be playful with it. You gotta have fun with the test. I mean, I'm not saying don't work hard. LeBron James busts his ass. I mean, that dude works out ridiculously hard. That dude practices ridiculously hard. But when he gets out there on the court, he's playing the game now.
yeah.
He knows he's the shit. He put in the work to be the shit. And so now he gets to go out there on the court. And now, I mean, he's trying hard, but he's also like, he's loose. He's having fun.
I
And
agree
that's what
totally.
Kendall's not doing here, right? Kendall's like, today's the big day that I'm gonna, and then, like just her head's exploding clearly on the official test, and she's choking. It's
Well, right now,
really super common.
yeah, you're like grabbing your fist, and it's making me think of like a race car driver or someone who's got like their hands on the wheel like so intensely. It's like, look, I'm not saying take your hands off the wheel and look around. You're engaged, but it's not like this like
Well, think about a bad driver.
yeah.
Like there are bad drivers who are just lazy and distracted and don't pay any attention. Of course, that's one way that you can be a bad driver, but it's a really pretty common way, especially for new drivers. Your kid's got to be getting close, huh? To
Yeah, my
driving.
oldest has got a permit. Yep. So
Oof. Like one of the scariest things you could see probably is if he has his hands at exactly 10 and 2 on the wheel and he's holding on, if he's like, because you're like oversteering, right? If you're just
yeah, yeah.
like, it's like, listen, you don't follow the white line exactly every foot. You aim for a spot way down there on the horizon, and you're not, you're going to be going at that target roughly, and
Mm-hmm.
you could have a little looser grip on the steering wheel. It just seems like Kendall's just grabbing onto the steering wheel way too tightly.
Yeah. She says, what advice would you give someone with such a consistent
It's
discrepancy?
also not a consistent discrepancy, Kendall. This is God. I mean, sorry for continually interrupting Kendyl here, but
Mm,
we've seen this 1,000 times. This is not uncommon in the slightest. You don't
yeah.
have a consistent discrepancy, Kendyl. You have 3 data points that are below your practice range.
Yeah.
It does seem like you're trying too hard on your official test. You
Yep.
need to calm down. But it's a self-fulfilling prophecy if you determine that you have a consistent discrepancy.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, you've put in all the work.
Yeah.
Well, not all the work, but I mean, 13 practice tests between 171 and 179 is like, there's not that much room for improvement.
Yeah.
You're going to have to figure out a way to calm down on the day of the test.
I agree. She says it's hard to address it as apparently not struggling with in any specific section. I'm worried it's owing largely to nerves, and apparently my methods aren't working there. Yeah, I agree. And actually, when I read that, the thought that came to my mind is an app I just started listening to much more religiously. I'm back into meditation, and
That's awesome.
I'm convinced that it's powerful. The app that I'm using right now is Waking Up by Sam Harris, and he's got a few free lessons. So at the very least, I would download the app. It costs money, but you could do those free lessons and just start to become more aware of your thought processes and what thoughts are coming in and injecting themselves, and maybe taking control of your focus. It sounds like those thoughts aren't interrupting you while you're taking practice tests, probably because you're relaxed on some level. And then on test day, things are getting in the way, and you need to become more self-aware of that.
Yeah, there's a voice in Kendall's head that's either saying, this is the official test, you need to triple check this one. Or there's a voice in Kendall's head that's saying, this is the official test, you need to hurry up.
Yeah.
This is the rest of your future. You have to make sure that you finish the section,
Yeah.
Either way, that's not a helpful voice, because it's just distracting her from, she needs to get all of her attention on that one question in front of her.
Yeah.
So that she can efficiently, not in a rush, but efficiently get it right and move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Sam
Okay.
Harris, Waking Up. Good.
Yeah. There's also a book by that same name, but I would start with the app. That's all you need. And lastly, say I do get a very high score in the spring. Will this be looked at differently given that it's my 4th try? The answer is technically yes, but it's not going to matter.
I would say the answer is no. I don't see.
I'm taking it a very literally. Like, if someone comes to them with 4 LSAT scores versus 1, I've got to imagine that some admissions officers are going to look at that differently.
Okay.
Does it matter? No. I
No.
think that's what she's really asking.
No. For all intents and purposes, for Kendyl, it does not matter. Kendyl, you have to take it again to get your score in the 170s that you're capable of. Sure, it would have been better for you to get your 170 something on your first attempt or your second attempt or your third attempt. But it's vastly better that you retake it and get that score in the 170s than not retake it and don't get your score in the 170s.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do
Oh,
about
totally.
it.
Yep.
So stop worrying about it. And also, just that question, to me, that question, she shows a little bit of why she's struggling on the official test.
Yeah.
Like
She's worried
I
that
don't
this
think she
next
has
attempt.
accepted.
Yeah.
I don't think
Mhm.
she has accepted that law schools only care about your highest score. I think she went into every single one of those official tests like, this is the one. I have
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
do it today. She did that on the first attempt. And then on the second attempt, well, like, I mean, this is my second. I can't take it a third time. So I have to do it on my second attempt.
Yeah.
And then she did the exact same shit on her third attempt. Oh, it's my third attempt. I can't possibly, I don't want to take it a fourth time, because law schools, despite the fact that Ben and Nathan, every single time I listen to them say law schools only care about your highest score,
Yeah.
despite the fact that, Katie took it 5 times. Was it Katie or was it Carl that took it 5 times? Katie took it 5 times and is going to Yale.
Yeah.
Or wait, No, wait, what, or was it Rebecca? No, it's Rebecca that took it 5 times and is going to Yale. That's right. I'm confusing
Okay.
all of our people in the demon who are going to Yale. But Rebecca took it 5 times and got admitted to Yale.
Yeah.
She might turn them down, but she's,
Hmm.
she's admitted to Yale and has the
Yeah.
option, even though she took the LSAT 5 times.
Yeah.
Matt Dumont is on a full ride scholarship to law school. He took the LSAT 5 times. And specifically, Matt didn't score in the 170s until his 5th attempt.
Yeah.
And he's on a full ride scholarship to law school, and he's killing it, by the way, in his 1L year of law school.
Yeah.
So, yes, if they're comparing you versus someone else with a 175, and they got a 175 on their first attempt, and you got a 175 on your 4th attempt, they might slightly give a shit.
Yes. But that's a false comparison, right? I think this is the point you're trying to make. It just doesn't matter because you have to compare yourself with a 165 and 3 tests to
Right.
yourself with a 172 and
Right.
4 tests.
And I
Who do you
really
want to be?
I really want Kendyl to accept the possibility that she might have to take it a 5th time.
Yes.
Before she takes it a 4th time, she needs to accept the possibility that she might have to take it a 5th time.
Or we should reframe it. She gets to take it a 5th time
Yeah.
and gets that opportunity to get a high score and end up at Yale. Because if she ends up with a 179,
right.
Oh, 5 tests. Yeah, but you're a 179.
Yeah, you get 5 attempts at it in two cycles. And law schools, really, they're only going to care about your highest score. I mean, you need to get your highest score, Kendyl. So I like worrying about, oh, but if I score higher, like look at what she did. But if I score very high in the spring, are people going to look at that differently because it was my 4th attempt? Well, step 1, they're going to look at you very differently because you have that high score. That's the thing that really matters.
Yeah.
I mean, a 175 versus a 165 is not on the same planet.
Nope.
So they're going to say, welcome to planet 175. And then once you're on planet 175, yeah, the other people who got there on their first try, they might be slightly preferred.
Yeah.
But not nearly as much as people who are on the planet are preferred to people who are not on the planet to begin with.
Yeah.
All right.
For some reason, it just made me think of like delivering money to a mob boss. Like if you owe a mob boss, you know, 100 grand or something like that, and you're late, and they're giving you all this trouble and they're roughing you up, and then the next day you come in with the 100,000 and you've delivered. I don't think they're really going to care that you were late. I mean, they might have.
If you owe that money, it's much better that you actually pay it than not pay it. It's, you know, like, I mean, yes.
At that point, it's like, here's the money. Like, what else do you want to talk about? Like,
yes.
Talk to you later.
Yeah. People need to just let go of this. It's one of the, I think that it might be the cause of Kendyl's problem. The whole problem is caused by this worrying about how many attempts and all that, you know, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah. Focus on getting the best score you can, whatever means that is possible.
If you can take it 5 times and get into Yale, then you can take it 5 times and get in anywhere. Right? I mean,
amen.
Like, they don't give a shit. They do not care. Okay.
Okay.
Is that it for Kendyl?
I think so. Thanks, Kendyl. Good luck.